And other outlets reported that he will be fired, and he told his squad, "There's no reason for you to worry about me." Here's what he had to say yesterday.
Wins and losses, yeah, they are really important. I would never, ever say that. Even with a coach's job, wins and losses are important. But also the overall development of a young man is very important. And they have to be taught, how to handle themselves and how to bounce back from adversity and how to overcome obstacles. But knowing that in our meeting, I did not tell them that I would not be back. I said, we got one game. Let's go get this game. Let's get to a bowl game. Let's get these seniors to a bowl game because they deserve it. And the administration have, like Mike and I, we spoke yesterday, and he said, "Hey, Coach, you will be evaluated. You got one game left. Let's go get this game, and you will be evaluated at the end of the season."
I want to make sure to point out that he has his player support. Reportedly, some players were considering boycotting Friday's game against TCU to protest Strong getting fired, essentially, and that Strong had said that there will be no boycott, he told his team. Stephen A., do you have a problem with the way that Texas handled this?
I'm sad to say, no, I do not. Charlie Strong is a good man. He's a damn good football coach who I believe should have never been at Texas because I never felt like they wanted him. And alumni members revealed that because he certainly wasn't their first or second choice, and they had a problem when he was the one chosen to succeed Mack Brown. Being the first black coach in Texas football history to go there, I didn't like that situation for him. It's something that I shared publicly with Charlie Strong on several occasions on this show and on my radio show on Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio. It wasn't ideal for him. Having said that, let me say this. I'd hire Charlie Strong any day if I were at another school like Louisville or that caliber of a program. Texas is a bit different. Geographics matter. It's not the right situation for him. But when you also take into consideration the success that Mack Brown enjoyed for many years, the fact of the matter is Charlie Strong hasn't even won 8 games in a season since he's been there. This is Texas. That's oil money down there. Their facilities, their university, and everything that comes with it is first rate. You can't win 8 games in a season. You can't be there. It's just that simple. And the one thing that did disturb me, while I appreciate Charlie Strong saying the players wouldn't boycott, because instead of the players talking about boycotting, how about going out there and beating a Kansas team you had up by 11 points, who was 1-9, who hadn't beaten your program since 1936? With all due respect to those college kids who were thinking about protesting, sit the hell down. Show up on Saturday and play. But stop that nonsense, because if you really want to save your coach, go out there and win. Sorry, but that needs to be said. As it pertains to Charlie Strong, here's what it comes down to. You're talking about it's not just about wins and losses, it's about developing the kids. I say this respectfully from the bottom of my heart. Stop it. You know good and damn well it's about wins and losses. When you are at a big-time football program, of course, as parents, we want kids to be developed.
The best coaches do both.
And the best coaches do both. But their priority is winning.
Of course.
You don't keep your job, nor do you position yourself to influence dramatically the lives of one kid after another through your program unless you are actually there. And you don't stay there unless you win. Okay. When you're not winning, it doesn't work that way.
I do not like the way the school handled this. First of all, ESPN, first they tell them we're going to evaluate at the end of the season. Then ESPN, as well as other outlets, reported that they had made up their mind on him. Now, we all know how it works here. There are many times, I'm sure you deal with this on the radio, I dealt with it on the radio for years, a story breaks. You want to report it on the air. What's the vetting process like around here? It is thorough, because ESPN, when ESPN says something, it is thoroughly vetted so that you know it's credible.
You actually lose out on stories, getting stories first.
Because we make sure it's airtight.
Right.
Now, it doesn't mean no media outlet's going to be perfect all the time.
Right.
Even then, some things will slip through the cracks. But we know what the process is around here.
Right.
So when ESPN reports it, as well as other outlets are reporting it, that means that something's going on, and that means that the source is at Texas, right? Mm-hmm. So this gets reported. They sit down with the guy and say, not until after the season. Then they do an about-face I guess because of the loss to Kansas. It was 1938, by the way, I believe, that they hadn't lost to Kansas. So that was only 13 meetings in that time. But okay, you should have won that game, no doubt about it. And maybe they had a change of heart. Then they saw the student reaction. I think this is what happened. They saw the student reaction and said, if we win the last game of the season, we're eligible for a bowl game at least. Why don't we just cool our jets and see what happens? I think that was wise. I think it was a mistake for them to have made that decision after the loss to Kansas. I think it was a mistake for someone to leak that to the press. And I think that though, if what they're doing now is saying, okay, we will wait and see what happens on the last game of the season, then I guess I'm okay with it because they acted impulsively and then walked it back. But if, in fact, what's happening is they just don't want the players to boycott or they just want to kill a problem for them, wait till after the season and then fire him no matter what happens on the last game of the season, then I do have a problem. And in addition, I don't think Charlie Strong should be fired anyway. I think if you look at his track record at Louisville, takes him a couple seasons to get going. And finally, the idea that it's about winning first and there's somehow these competing interests between, you know, guiding young people and winning. There are some who believe, and I'm not one of them, but there are some who believe for good reason, they have good reason to believe, that when you do things the right way, that is inextricably tied with winning in the long run. And if Charlie Strong's philosophy is that, and this program cares, at least claims to care about that, then they should, I hate to borrow an Embiid expression, trust the process.
You're so wrong about this. But I understand where you're coming from, and I can appreciate your position. TCU is in the area. Houston is winning football games. Oklahoma, the Red River rivalry. You know, you beat them last year, and then you come around 2 weeks later and get shut out by Iowa. You know, you open up the season against Notre Dame, but you win, but you give up 47 points in the process over the first first 5 or 6 games or what have you. You have a defensive coordinator's background, but your team is surrendering 40-plus points. And then on top of it all, you get rid of the defensive coordinator a year after you got rid of the offensive coordinator. All of this stuff is going on. Look, man, I am a fan of Charlie Strong. I love the job he did at Louisville. He deserved the opportunity. I don't sit up here and say he should be fired because the man can't coach. I'm saying that this is Texas, and they have a right to have the standard that they have established, traditionally upheld. And my last point to you, which hasn't been made, I want to be clear. The president of the university and the athletic director of the university have spoken up on behalf of Charlie Strong. They have not violated anything. They have not violated the process in any way. These are alumni members who pour their money into the program, who aren't supervised by the program. They have a right to say what the hell they want to say when they're the ones that are funneling cash to the program.
Do you think a decision has been made, yes or no?
Without question.
Without question. Then in that case, that's not an alumni. That's someone from the program.
No.
That's alumni, Max.
Can I just
Talking
say one
to
thing?
alumni even. But it shouldn't happen right after the Kansas game.
Can I just say one thing? They were going to wait to the end of the season. They were going to fire him, and it got leaked. It's typical protocol. If we know we're getting fired, I know you might get fired at the end of your contract, whatever it is, and somebody leaked it early. This is just what happens.
So is that a good way to handle it or a bad way?
Wait, Max,
it's the right way. Just deal with your leaks.
Check this out. Listen. You and I, we work together right here at ESPN. We find out one of our colleagues, you know, he gonna be gone. Yeah. I rap to you about it, okay? Now, you might not, I take it back. You ain't working here. I just said something to you. You're a friend of ESPN's, but you don't work here. But you certainly contribute to the bottom line. All I'm saying to you, that's entirely different than me saying something to somebody. I mean, you can't police alumni members.
Then what you do,
you can't do that.
Then you do not tell Charlie Strong, we will wait till the end of the season to evaluate if you're going to evaluate before the end of the season.
That's because they need him to play against TCU. They got kids.
Plan
they need
your
him to
work
play.
and work your plan. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things.
This is the business we've chosen, the Godfather.
The program did nothing wrong to Charlie Strong. Alumni members may have.
They didn't tell him the truth.
They didn't lie to him.
Yeah, they said they wait till the end of the season to evaluate, and instead of that, they made a decision before the end of the season.
They got one game left.
And they're still bowl eligible if they beat TCU.
It doesn't matter whether they go to bowl or not. It doesn't meet their standard, and you know it.
Coming up next, the Vikings are struggling, but help may be on the way in the form of Adrian Peterson. The question is, should he rush back this season? We break it down.